Hi, I'm Rachel, and today I want to show you how to make a circular object look 3D using the Color Therapy app. Let's visit the basics of shading a sphere. I will show you how to make it look round and shiny using 3 different mediums, textures, and colors, using smudge, airbrush, and pencil tools. Let's get started. So if you would like to follow along with the same image I'm using, go into the Classic tab, select Pixel, and it will be the 3rd image down. This tutorial will be really helpful for you in coloring because it's going to inform you how to shade and color and make any object look realistic. So you can apply these techniques to basically anything you're drawing physically or digitally painting. So in the color palette, I'm using the basic palette here, and I'm just going to choose a medium pink color as the foundation color. And then what I'll want to do is choose several more lighter and darker versions of that color. So I'll also select a darker burgundy, which is basically a darker pink. And then I'll select a white as well as a black. The first thing we'll do is just zoom in on a circle in the pattern, since we'll be doing practicing today, and make sure it's set to the tap to fill mode. And using that pink color, we're just gonna tap to fill in a circle. And this is gonna be our foundation color, and we'll build it up from there. So let's begin by adding in the highlights first. So select white and then open up the toolbox under manual mode. Select smudge tool, and then we'll raise the opacity to 100, lower the size to about 30%. The smudge tool is gonna create sort of a muddled look. So it won't be as shiny as like a glass orb or something. So now what I'll do is just begin adding very light pressure to one side of our sphere, going in a curved motion, just like that. And I'm just adding in layer after layer, slowly building up the highlight. And I'm just doing it in this one area here. The key to making objects look three-dimensional is to shade and go with the curve of the object. Next, I'll select that burgundy color. And now on the opposite side, I'm going to add in a bit of a mid-tone or beginning of a shadow. And it's sort of just curving upward like that. And then I'll add another layer on top of it, just beginning to darken that right edge. And now I'm going to select black. So I'm basically going from light to dark. And I'll do the same thing in the same place where I laid down the burgundy. But this time I want it to be a lot lighter of a layer. We don't want it to be too dark so that it flattens out. So I just added 2 quick layers on the right bottom side. And then under the manual mode, let's lower the opacity to about 50% now for the black, and lower the size to about 15%. And then going back where we were, we're going to add a little bit more of a shadow on that side, and this will be the core shadow. So we have highlight, mid-tone, and the core shadow. Again, refrain from making it completely black, or else it might begin to look flat. But we want to darken it just a little bit, just enough that it blends into the burgundy and the pink. Last but not least, let's add in our harsh highlight where the white is. So select white again, and then raise the opacity to 100 and lower the size to 0. And you're going to add a very light, sort of a half moon shape, just curving with the shape of the sphere in that white space. And then you can add a little more pressure right in the middle of that. So now it's a lot shinier, and you have highlights, midtones, and the core shadows. Now we'll apply the exact same techniques, but using different mediums. So this time I'll use the airbrush tool, which will make it look more like a shiny ball or a gem. So this time under the color palette, I'll open up the shades tab and then select blue. And then I'll choose a medium blue as well as a very dark blue. And then I'll use the black and white again. So just like before, just tap to fill in the blue. And then we'll use white with the same settings as we did before for the highlights, midtones, and then add in the dark blue for midtones and the black for shadows. And then lastly, I'll use the pencil tool and green. see how the pencil tool is great for getting rough texture, which works well for something like rocks and landscapes. The airbrush is great for gems and shiny objects, and the smudge brush is great if you want a less shiny surface. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.